See, as a student pilot, you could either have the best instructor you could possibly have, or you could have the worst instructor you've probably ever seen in your life. And I've had them all in my early days of flying. And here I'm going to point out some of the red flags to look for in your flight instructor. If your flight instructor keeps canceling on you last moment, it's really time to change your instructor. It shows that your instructor really does not respect your time. They do not respect, the finances you're putting into this training, and they keep canceling on you. I really would consider looking for another instructor. Another red flag is if your instructor is actually doing all the flying instead of you practicing it. I had one instructor where every time we went up flying, he would do most of the exercises. Yes, your instructor has to teach you initially how to fly the airplane, but after that, he or she is supposed to give you control to actually make the skill adjustments and absorb that skill and make it a part of you. I had an instructor that would fly the entire time, majority of the flight, and just talk me through the lesson, and I had a very little time to actually practice that skill. And unfortunately, that took me a lot longer to develop the skill for flying. Another red flag I would look for in an instructor is someone who all they care about is just time building. Now, I'll be honest, there's a reason why most people instruct. I would say 90% instructors are there for time building itself. However, you want to find an instructor that actually wants to enjoy their time while they're there and not just there where they're just time building. They're just making you take an extra long session just so they can build up hours. There's a lot of little sneaky things some instructors do where they'll do a really, really slow taxi to the runway. Yes, you have to be safe when you taxi. Yes, you have to taxi slow. But I've seen instructors who taxi a little extra slow at like a snail pace taxi. And they do that just to milk your hours. And I'd say a final red flag, and thankfully I've never had this type of instructor, but I know a lot of people have, is someone where you and the instructor do not get along personality-wise. There's always, some conflict between you two. There's always some tense energy in the air. And you can think of flight instructing like a marriage. You're sitting literally side by side. In some cases, your legs are touching each other for many hours at a time. And you always want to make sure you get along with the person for those times that you're in the airplane. I think if you look out for these red flags that I mentioned and switch instructors as soon as possible to somebody that you like, somebody that's respecting your time, somebody that's actually going to make the lesson very efficient and not drag it on, it's going to save you a lot of money. It's going to make your flight and training experience that much more enjoyable, and you're going to graduate on time. All right, hope that helps.